The Little Grassy Lake campground and marina has been in operation here in southern Illinois now for nearly 60 years. Now, after 6 decades of service to the community, the Crab Orchard National Wildlife Refuge has announced a mandatory closure at the end of the year of the campground and marina due to lake drawdown levels. Campground ownership says they have proposed many different alternative methods to keep the campground open to the refuge. Here's that story. The sudden news came as a shock to many who visit and work at the Little Grassy campground and marina. The Crab Orchard National Wildlife Refuge had decided to close the marina at the end of the year, citing construction issues and lake drawdown levels. Alan Schur is one person who helps manage the upkeep of the campground and marina. He says the campground is hopeful that other methods can be explored to at least temporarily keep the campground or marina open during the construction.
And that came as a bit of a shock. We were under the impression that we were going to keep running the place until the lake was inaccessible for users when they actually do lower the lake levels, because they do have some issues with the dam. But from what we've been told, that could be a 2, 3, 4-year process before construction even begins. So we made a request that we continue to operate, knowing that at some point, if the lake is inaccessible, we may have to shut down at that time. But we 100% want to work with the refuge and find a solution to keep the campground open.
The refuge provided the following information in a news release that was issued this afternoon following the news of the closure. It read, and quote, "Over the duration of this study and construction repair, the extent of the disruption to users of Little Grassy Lake is currently unknown. What is known is that there is a high probability of impacts for 5 to 7 years after an alternative is selected and construction of the newly designed structure is underway. Further impacts are likely during the spillway repair due to potential impacts to the highway and bridge which cross the top of the existing dam. Road closures during the project could significantly affect access to the campground and nearby facilities during construction. For these reasons, use of the campground and marina will be paused and a contract will be reevaluated in the future."
What we've decided to do is pause our operations at Little Grassy Campground and Marina. All other operations will continue at those owner-operator discretion. They are allowed to operate, obviously, when compatible. All water-based recreation will be allowed on Little Grassy Lake. We're not looking to pause that. We're just pausing operations at our concessionaire. And this is for a variety of reasons. Basically, it's coming to the end of their contract. We have the option to renew. The federal government is choosing not to renew, so there's no termination here. This is just we're not renewing their contract during this time. There's going to be impacts. We don't know what those are going to be until we go through the alternatives analysis. This is just a good time to pause operations until basically we find out what those alternatives look like.
Manager Justin Sexton also gave an update on the current status of the Blue Heron Marina M campground, which is scheduled to reopen under a new concessionaire next year.
So last week, a prospectus came out regarding Blue Heron Marina Campground, which also includes Crab Orchard Campground, where entities from the public, small business, can bid on that. That'll be Blue Heron is open today. You can go camp there today. You can go use that. It's being managed by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service currently. This year, as we were preparing to go through this new prospectus, we'll have a new concessionaire hopefully selected by the end of August, and they will start operations on both of those, Blue Heron, Crab Orchard, beginning next year.